You didn't do drugs when you were younger to party?
Never. Never did I take a drug. Never did I take a drink. Never did I do any of that for that, the term I was trying to numb myself. I was trying to calm the circus. I was trying to calm the brain. I was trying to feel better. And I did.
To the average person, the first thought that comes when drug use is involved is that the user was taking it for parties and fun. And while you may have thought that to be true of Johnny too, the actor has just come out with another big revelation about his life. But this revelation wasn't just based on his life alone, it also cut across some of the things that happened while he was married to Amber and how those incidents led him to a bad place. I know you're already intrigued by this story, so stick around till the end of the video to get the full story. Oh, and just so you know, this might get a little emotional, so don't say I didn't warn you. When most people think about marriage, they think about a happy union between two people that found love and support in one another, but that wasn't the case in any way with Johnny and Amber. That's right, the actor has just revealed some unknown details about some of the terrible events that took place when he and Amber still shared a bed. Or at least that's what we thought they did. Turns out that things with them were a lot more terrible than we may have assumed. According to Depp, it got to a point where he thought he couldn't deal with any of those problems on his own, which resulted in his excessive use of drugs and alcohol. If you remember correctly, while the trial between the ex-spouses was underway, Amber's team brought up several photos and videos showing Johnny either passed out from drinking or drugs. As it would come out, the actor was actually doing those things to catch a break from Amber. And in his bid to further straighten the story, the actor revealed that he didn't even do drugs or drink just to party while he was younger, but that it was a lot deeper for him. A fact that seems to have been proven by Johnny's addiction to drugs coming after he had been prescribed pain medication. However, he stated that even though he had done drugs at one point or the other earlier in his life, he wasn't addicted. You see, according to Depp, his run-in with drugs is much deeper than a lot of people think. Depp claims that he first experimented with drugs when he was 11 years old. His mother, he said earlier in the day, routinely physically and verbally assaulted him, his siblings, and his father. He claims she occasionally requested him to bring her a bottle of nerve tablets to help her relax. Depp, who was upset by his chaotic family, stated that he wished to calm down as well. He began taking the pills himself to escape the chaotic nature of what they were going through. Soon after, Depp began using marijuana and was not shy to experiment with other substances that would take the edge off. One of the underlying messages in Depp's successful 1980s program, 21 Jump Street, about undercover detectives investigating crimes, including drug usage in high school, was that narcotics couldn't heal emotional issues. Despite his early drug use, Depp claims he was able to keep it under control throughout his life. He claimed to have gone sober for many years without taking drugs or alcohol, and that he had never used them to party. This basically tells you that his problems with drugs didn't actually become a problem until Amber got into his life. And this fact wasn't established by Johnny alone, as even his friends knew about how much effect Amber had on his life, and many haven't exactly been quiet. This is why a former bandmate of his is laying the blame for the actor's slowed career pace and alleged substance abuse issues on Amber. In a clip for the new Discovery Plus documentary Johnny vs. Amber that was shared by Ella D. Bible, musician Bill Bino-Hanty claims that Heard just saw Depp coming and inserted herself into his life. For context, Hanty and Depp go way back, as Hanty played with Depp in the 1980s in the band The Kids, before he switched his primary focus to acting after his breakout success in 1984's A Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, who else could have a better understanding of this whole situation than someone that has known him since the beginning, right? Well, there's a lot more. In the excerpt, Hanty seems to suggest that Heard used her starring role with Depp in 2011's The Rum Diary to get close to him. She got the opportunity to be a part of that film and she worked it, he says, even though he admits elsewhere that he has never met the actress. He expressed concerns about the age gap between Depp and Heard and blamed her for having ruined the Pirates of the Caribbean star's life. I do understand that she's half his age. I get it. Okay, John, she's 25. I get it. Don't marry her. You don't need to marry her. You're Johnny Depp, says Hanty. He continued, saying, ruined his life. It really did. It totally effed his career over, cost him his friends, part of his family. He continued. She got inside John's head and made him absolutely crazy to the point where he was drinking and drugging, to the point of insanity. But even with all of this damage Amber seemed to have knowingly inflicted on Johnny, the actor was still able to get help. And that was further established during the trial when a doctor and nurse hired by Depp to assist treat him for opiate addiction testified about their interactions with the actor. Depp said that he became addicted to roxicodone, better known as oxycodone, when a doctor prescribed it for a leg injury. Johnny Depp stated that he was aware that he had grown addicted to the substance and that he was just taking it to prevent withdrawal symptoms. He stated that he sought assistance at that moment. Speaking via video deposition, Dr. David Kipper recalled his time spent with the Pirates of the Caribbean star as the actor attempted to detoxify from his substance abuse while engaged to her. The substances included alcohol, opiates, benzodiazepines, and stimulants, according to Kipper. Depp, who also experienced depression and anxiety, was fearful of coming off opiates after becoming dependent on them following a dental procedure, according to the doctor. Kipper said he and Depp planned for a 2-week drug detoxification at the actor's home in the Caribbean islands. Kipper said there were moments when Depp was hesitant about the process, not wanting to proceed with the detox. He didn't think he could do it. That changed after a conversation. He was back on board, said Kipper, whose text messages with Depp from over the years were also read aloud. He also said that later in the marriage there were concerns about Depp overusing Xanax pills. However, prior to this time, court documents obtained by people at the time had revealed that Depp was indeed in recovery from alcohol and drugs during significant parts of his marriage with her, and accused the Aquaman actress of encouraging him to drink and take drugs instead of supporting his sobriety. I mean, considering that he was a recovering addict who had just sought help, it doesn't exactly add up that his wife, whom he shared a bed at the time, would encourage him to indulge in the very acts he was fighting against. If this doesn't tell you everything you need to know about Amber Heard as a person, then I don't know what will. To make things even worse, Amber was actually and is probably still a raging alcoholic, as the actress was constantly caught drunk on different occasions. It doesn't end at alcoholism with the actress. There were also several occasions during their marriage, and after Johnny had gone through his detox journey, that she took drugs. That's right, the very thing that her husband had just battled for his life with is what she thought was a good idea to indulge in. And let's not even touch on the fact that there's a story out there confirming that she had been part of some drug-fueled explicit parties. Well, this part of Johnny's story was surprising to many because the actor hadn't revealed much about his personal life and some of the struggles he faced growing up. But Kipper's testimony did get a lot of people talking on social media, and some of them had pretty interesting and unexpected views. That was the case with this user who wrote, "Didn't the doctor say that Amber is most of the time the aggressor when she drinks and does prescription drugs at the same time? Gets all whacked out. Also, she said that if they were not together, Johnny would have been living his normal relaxed lifestyle. No one is really sure how true all of these details are, but judging by what we know of Amber, we can't exactly put it past her. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Goodbye.